It's so funny when we were talking last week. I was just thinking Double or Nothing, and then I was like, no, we have King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. As you're hearing this, we're recording this on Friday, but as this airs, and I will win my battle to go live, so we don't have to say that every time. One of these days, we'll be live all the time for Unscripted. Hint, hint, wink, wink to someone who's not on the show. So that way, it's actually relevant, and people aren't listening to it the next day going, "We just watched the pay-per-view." But as you're probably listening to this, King and Queen of the Ring airs at 10 a.m. on the West Coast here in the United States of America, and 1 o'clock for Craig over there on the East Coast. Not to give away our covert locations in this country, but
just a quick side before you jump into it. I think Romeo always knows when we're recording. He always makes an appearance.
Piece of shit.
He does as soon as you start.
Look, right there.
He's right there,
licking his ass. He's like, "We're on YouTube."
Yeah, he's just right in front. His legs are up, and he's digging in his asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Romeo.
I look at you a lot of views right there.
See you, buddy. 14
See you on
old.
OnlyFans /Romeo/
Taking pictures of paws. Yeah.
So we have real quick. I'll just jump into it, and we have Bianca and Jade defending their tag titles against Candice LeRae and Hartwell. Whatever. We all know who's going to win that one.
Yeah. That's not even
and we have the finals of the men's King of the Ring tournament. Gunther takes on Randall Orton.
Should be good.
I think Gunther's going to pull it out. I don't know why I feel this way.
I will too.
I feel that way. And then
it's amazing they didn't do the USO. They didn't do the Bloodline versus Bloodline for it. We all thought that was going to happen, right?
Yeah, maybe it's too soon, but I thought so too. And then help me pronounce her name because I'm going to ruin it. It's for the women's Queen of the Ring finals. Nia Jax beat Bianca Belair tonight on SmackDown, or when you're listening to this last night on SmackDown. So now it is. I'm sorry, Lyra. I'm
Valkyria.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I'm going to butcher it.
Valkyrie?
So.
Yeah, it's like a play on Valkyrie, but it's Valkyria, I believe.
When some of these like different names come in or whatever, or they get brought up from the NXT, I'm like, I sound like a not wrestling fan when I'm like,
who?
Rante Orton?
Right. It's like that phonetic spelling of the graduation you guys all saw on CNN. She got every name wrong, even like
But that's a very I did not expect them to be in the finals. Nothing.
Not at all. I mean, when you think about the headlines of Bianca and Damage Control, that seemed to be how she could finish that up.
And as a further wedge when Jade and Bianca finally split up, I thought one of them was going to win it, maybe be either Bianca or Jade, and then kind of use that as like, I can do it on my own. I don't need you. But
I think they're gonna push it out a little longer. As soon as Valkyria won, I was pretty confident that Bianca would not, because she's been messing with the knee the whole time and kind of playing on that. And I was like, well, there's no reason for Bianca to be to your point, they could do a tag title match, which now they're doing in Saudi. So, but I was secretly rooting for Nia the whole time. I just didn't think she was going to get there. So I'm hoping that this pumps up Nia for something big down the road. Because I don't understand. Right? I don't understand Valkyria getting all this right now and winning Queen of the Ring. I don't know. I mean, she's very good. I mean, her in-ring ability is great, but I haven't seen her mic work at all. That's where I would rely on Cuz and NXT.
In fact, we don't really know who she is and can't say her name. All three of us, or actually, David, you pretty confident.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is she gonna beat Nia, and then that's gonna strap the rocket on her, or is Nia gonna beat her? And you know what I mean, like. Be Queen Nia.
They've already surprised us so many times with the.
Nia's already put Liv over. Nia's put everybody over. Like I would like to see Nia win the crown and get some kind of
very, very hard to get a 5-star match.
That's true.
That's true, Dave. There's two Daves now. But yeah, I kind of hope Nia gets it, and then for the for the women's world championship, Becky Lynch defends against Liv Morgan. It depends on when Ripley is going to come back. I think and then win. I think that Liv is going to beat Becky for it. I could be wrong.
Okay. Have you been listening and seeing all the weird stuff about Dom and obviously there's been some things, but I can't remember which of the major broadcasters he's always on talking smack and all those other things, and he's on the pre-shows a lot. But he mentioned that Dom came in with a bandana on his neck and then came out of a room without it, and then later on in a shot,
She had it in her
Liv
pocket.
had it
Yeah.
in her back pocket, and I was like, they're really
That
doing
is-
something there.
That is
Yeah.
long term.
And that's what I think. And I think I like
Right.
Liv's character. I like her heel character. And yes,
Right.
she may not need the title, but Becky doesn't either. And I think if Liv gets it, that's something for Ripley to also chase. So not only is she going to be frustrated and furious about the Dom situation, she's going to also chase the title. So I feel that they
I
didn't
love all of it.
Interesting.
I didn't think that they put it on Liv in the Battle Royal because they wanted to give Liv a good definitive singles win. We'll find out if that's the case. I don't know.
Interesting, Jess.
That's a shitty opinion. It's the most bullshit
Whoa.
opinion I've ever heard.
I think Becky being a transitional champion in this purpose of it, because Becky was due to go away. I think this was the best way to do it in the Battle Royal, to put it on Bex, and then and like you said, have someone legitly beat her 1-on-1, and hopefully that is Liv, because we're all big Liv fans. So I'm sorry, I want to talk about some more about the ladies, but you probably want to run through the rest of the card first, Jess.
We're almost there. There's only 6 matches on this one, better than 5. And then we have a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. We have Sami Zayn defending the title against Chad Gable, who's doing a bang-up job as a heel. I like what they're doing with him so far.
They're starting
and
to do
Otis,
that. You suck to Chad Gable too, by the way. So that's
Yes.
fantastic. It's fantastic.
and
It's working.
Otis is in his corner, and it looks like Otis will finally go over to Sammy. So I like that they're not blowing the singles match right away. And by the way, it's a triangle match. It's Sammy against Chad against Bronson Reed, and Otis is in Gable's corner. So Otis is teasing like he wants to turn face. He doesn't want to listen to Gable, but then he's cheating so Gable can win. So like I really like the dynamic. I like that they're not blowing the one-on-one Sammy and Chad match yet, because I think that's probably going to come at SummerSlam. So I like it. I think this is going to be a fun match. This potentially could steal the show. I think they do it right.
I've always liked Chad Gable, and I was always hoping more for him. And his character work is, I mean, he went from heel to fun face with the shush stuff, and made something as little as shush kind of work.
Yeah.
And then this churn was beautiful.
See, Vince McMahon, this is how you reward people. Like Vince used to put people in shitty gimmicks all the time, and they would make, I got some bad news. They would turn it into good shit, and then Vince would be like, yeah, I'm still not going to push. I don't fucking care. You know, they get the 3-man band over, or they get Rusev Day over, or they do everything that Vince wanted, and there was never a reward.
Kids.
This, for what Gable has done, Triple H is
kids.
showing that, yeah, I got kids. You know, for what Chad Gable has done, Triple H is showing him, not only the fans and the locker room, which is most important, that if you do get over with something that's not very preferred, this can await you. You know, and I think that I love this message, and I love the fact that Craig loves it when I go off on Triple H love rants. It's such a different product. It just really is, and like I'm still shell shocked. I still have PSD from Vince, you know, just going, you're not going to do anything with him, and then they do something with him. I'm like, oh, that's right. I keep forgetting, like over and over again. I keep forgetting. So like, it's nice to see somebody who got the shoosh thing over, and now they're like, now we're going to use you seriously. I fucking love it, and it's great. It's working so far. We'll see. We'll see how much more it goes. And then the main event is for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defends his title against Logan Paul, the current United States champion. Logan Paul getting a fucking world title shot in a main event again in a is it Saudi show? Because didn't he face Roman for the title? Was it a Saudi show last year?
Oh yeah,
I think it was Saudi.
You know, I bet Saudis love the reach of Logan. That's it.
We love Logan Paul. Yes.
We like followers. Yes. All right.
I said this a week or two ago too. I don't care. We all know who's going to win, but this work could be absolutely phenomenal. And I even hate saying that because I'm like, it's just like Logan Paul he's really fucking good, you know, like that. You're like, God damn it, you know. And you almost hate it, but I think he's showing a more human emotion side when he's not in his character. He's starting to get kind of likable, if I could even say that. Like Logan Paul's actually, when he's on his podcast and he's being kind of a real dude, you kind of like the guy. I'm like, damn it, like, you bastard. Yep, that's what he is. And I'm telling you, like, I'm like, I'm starting to really like this guy, and I really love the heel work, and I love that his prime stuff is everywhere, just in our face, just being stupid, and you know, it'll obviously be on the PLE ring apron as well, but it's gonna be fun, man. They're gonna put
What's
on
his prime?
What's his prime? It's going to be
Why
a hell
is
of a show.
Prime on the ring?
Optimus?
Yeah,
Don Stormer?
Cody and Logan. That could be so fast, and there could be so much aerial work along with mat work, and those guys can do anything. And
If he can hang with Cody Rhodes and listen to him, and then he can, if it's not just a little spot fest or whatever, then he's on his way to being just the best natural athlete.
It's ridiculous.
Since
It's ridiculous.
And then, as if all that wasn't enough, on Sunday we have goddamn AEW Double or Nothing, and I have five.
That's a shitty opinion. It's the most bullshit opinion I've ever heard.
So instead of 5 matches, they're doubling that because it's double or nothing.
That's fucking bullshit.
There's 10 matches, Tony Khan. We have Roderick Strong defending the AEW International Championship against Will Ospreay. Should be fan-fucking-tastic. I'm looking forward to that, amazingly.
The build-up to that's been really good, too.
Yes, they've been doing well. Listen, there's no quick fix
Strong
for their...
absolutely killing
He's fucking... A healthy Roderick Strong is the best. I love him so much. Like, he's so good. And, of course, Ospreay's wonderful. It's going to be fucking crazy.
But Ospreay's going to win. We all know this.
There's no magic pill or potion to, increase the ratings overnight. They just have to keep doing what they're doing. They're going to be AEW. They just got to get an act over or a storyline over, and they'll never be like a, Raw on a good week gets 1.8 million. The streaming is the way to go. Dave said it a million times.
Right.
They need a fucking streaming platform because people can go and sample their shit and then start watching. I think a big part of their reason why the ratings have dropped, and I not the main reason, but a part of the reason why the ratings have been really bad the last year or dropping and their attendance has been really bad is because nobody can go and sample their shit. So people will believe whatever narrative you read with the internet wrestling community because that's toxic cancer garbage, and they'll believe the dirt sheets or whatever, and then they won't watch it because they hear negative stuff about it. But if there was a streaming platform that for an affordable price, you know what? I'll do a free month trial and watch some AEW shit. I guarantee you the ratings will go up a little bit, not a ton, but it will go up. Attendance will go up a little bit, and there'll be more of a positive spin on the product. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So next match,
very hard to get a 5-star match.
Not there.
Apparently not with
the truest meme that I saw on Twitter this week was it was like one of those 5 squares, and it was just it said Wednesday, AEW's dying. Friday, AEW's dying. Saturday, AEW's dying. Sunday, AEW just put out the greatest PLE I've ever seen in my life. And it's actually so true. It's like when you watch the actual television, people are bitching, and then these PLEs and any pay-per-views they're saying it's the greatest.
Well, and that's part of the problem. So, like in the admin side, it's the streaming platform that will help them. But I think on the main thing, they don't know how to stitch their television together and get people to watch every week. That's the challenge, right? They absolutely every pay-per-view they put on, I have never had a fucking gripe about. I'll gripe about $50, and then when I'm done watching it, I'm like, I'd fucking do it again. Like if you're a professional wrestling fan, I don't know why you wouldn't like AEW, even if you don't like some of the storylines.
Bullshit.
So they're having us.
Thank you, Tony.
Jess, we lost your audio.
Oh, we lost your audio.
That's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit.
I can't hear you.
He sounds like it's robotic. He sounds like he landed on. He sounds like he landed on Dune. Muted.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob.
Is that better?
Still no.
Yeah, there
we go.
He's back, baby.
This is why. Maybe this is also why we don't go live.
Oh, good for you.
Because, but I'm still my Audacity was still fine in picking up everything. So,
So
then we have
back.
Like
He's back.
That one's not classy.
That's fine. Everything's fine with that one. Timeless Toni Storm defends her AEW Women's Championship against Serena Deeb.
Did you guys see? There's a tweet from I think someone got married and all the AEW women were there, and
it's Ruby Soho,
Toni Storm, black and white.
Yeah, which was fucking hilarious. Yeah,
so it's a great.
And I think she was
good for you.
Wasn't she wearing an old timey gown?
Just trying my best.
Shart Lopez. So that I'm not excited for that match, but I'm excited for anything Tony does. So I love it. Adam Copeland defends. How many fucking titles do they have? That's another problem. Adam Copeland defends the AEW TNT Championship against Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage match. He did the Brood Blood on this last Wednesday on Dynamite, which actually
That was some
Yeah, that
good
was
gimmick
crazy.
blood. It was super sticky. It was like the best.
It nailed him though.
It
Like
was
it
awesome.
nailed him and knocked him off his feet.
Yeah.
Like it was really fucking cool. Jon Moxley defends the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Takeshita, and that's going to be good. I mean,
I'm worried
again,
about that one because I don't know if Moxie can keep up with Takeshita, and I don't.
He'll just
know.
fucking take a fork.
I mean, he came from Japan.
He'll take skewers and
I
stab him in the head if he loses pace. It's no big deal. He
Yeah.
knows how to get out of it.
I mean, I love
Violence.
Moxley. I don't mean to. I love that dude a lot.
In a grudge match,
Kineska.
Yeah, you want him to do
Trent Beretta takes on Orange Cassidy. Christopher Jericho with the FTW Rules Heavyweight Championship. And an FTW Rules match takes on Hook and also takes on Shibata. So in a three-way match. Yeah, I'm not really.
Is that a way for Hook to get over and finally win? Like, so Jericho doesn't lose to
I
McLean?
don't
Like,
know.
Probably
Very
not.
hard to get a 5-star match.
not there. Not there.
The Bang Gang.
I bet he hands out 3 on Sunday. I bet he hands out 3 5-stars on Sunday.
In a match for well, at least a match for the trios unified for the unified trios championship. Fucking every match is for a title except for 2, by the way. The Bang Gang, Jay White and the Guns. Jay White and the Guns. God, fuck! I swear to God, all these names they changed.
Yeah. I guess they're not Bullet Club Gold anymore.
They're not Bullet. I was gonna say it should be Bullet Club Gold. It's not Bullet Club Gold. They take on the Death Triangle, which is Pac, Ray Phoenix, and which is going to be actually a good match. Everyone's going to fly around and kill each other, and that's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Willow Nightingale defends the women's AEW TBS Championship against Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné. She's finally debuted.
That match better go on second because it's going to be the worst match. Like,
no, we talked about last week. Last.
It's either that or it's going to be the AEW, the Anarchy in the Arena, which I think it'll be Anarchy in the Arena. They're probably going to do some crazy stunt to take us off the air. So I think the Anarchy in the Arena match, which is next, the Elite, Okada, Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks take on Team AEW, Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR.
So the Young Bucks wrestled twice. Did you just say that?
No, I stuttered because I was like trying to read their Elite name or whatever. They're not wrestling earlier on the card. No, this is the.
That's a shitty opinion. It's the most bullshit opinion I've ever heard.
I said that it was before it was the Bang Gang, the Gun Brothers.
Got it. Okay, I understood. Okay, that's where I was.
Anarchy in the Arena is going to be crazy. They're going to do some crazy stunt. Darby Allin's going to jump off the top of the building and die, and that's going to happen. That's probably going to take us off the air. And
here's what worries me about that. It's like Darby's actually not 100% at all. He said he
does not care.
Messed up. He's walking with a limp. He's been cleared. Who would clear that guy after everything he's been through? And just getting hit by a bus in New York, but apparently he's not well. But he just didn't want to miss it at all. So, like, I hope he doesn't go through too much.
That's fucking bullshit.
Exactly, Tony. I mean, you cleared him, Tony.
He cleared him. He cleared him.
And then the World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland will defend the title against Christian Cage for the AEW Heavyweight Championship.
That should be fantastic.
I think, people are shitting on it, going Double or Nothing, one of the biggest shows of the year. Christian's a mid-carder. How in the world? How's that going to elevate?
He's not. He hasn't been a mid-carder for like 3 years.
Like,
what are we talking
that's
about?
the big hoopla online is that he was just TNT champion.
I don't even watch AEW in the regular. I know that's
the
bullshit.
Best part of AEW consistently. Besides,
he really has been.
He's at the top of his game, and even people have said
bullshit.
Exactly, it's fucking bullshit. And Copeland has said, I think I sent this to you guys. Like someone said, like, why is Edge doing some of his best work now? I'm sorry, not Edge. Why is why is Cage doing his best work now? He's like, well, I don't think he was ever given a chance to, which is kind of. That's saying like Vince did not like him.
Edge said that too on a podcast. They were interviewing Adam Copeland. Excuse me, I don't want to get sued either.
Yes.
And he was like, Christian wasn't allowed. There was just a ceiling that Christian.
That's what I was talking about.
That was it. Like, yeah.
I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. Like,
is Edge part of that ceiling? That's really fucked up to say, and I'm sorry. Is Edge part of that ceiling?
I don't think so, because I don't think they weren't together too much. I don't think he stepped in for him though. I would say that. I don't think he
said, "Come on, man, give him a chance, Vince." I don't know if he did that, but he
Oh,
definitely.
I know. I
didn't-
think
don't
he did because Vince's thing about Christian was he thought Christian was ugly. Vince legitimately
Yes.
thought Christian was ugly.
That was 100%.
It's always
He's
been
more
Vince.
handsome than Edge. Like,
It's always
sorry,
been
not-
Vince, especially
there-
now.
it
Edge,
was-
Edge is aged.
Christian is-
He looks like a bug. Edge. He looks like a. Oh, he's just.
He's not handsome.
He's not handsome like
I
Edge.
don't want to say what he looks like. He looks
not
like he's on
handsome.
meth. He looks like he's on.
He's
meth.
not
That's
handsome
what-
like Andre was. Like, what are we
that's
doing?
what-
Like, what
that's
are we
what-
talking about?
Bruce, would you fuck him?
Hogan
No.
looks a little sick.
don't-
I'm just
They
telling you
don't
right
push
now.
him. Stupid.
Yeah,
But he's
Bruce
a
is
good
okay.
boy.
Come on, boss. He's like, Christian's really good. He's like, I have one question for you, Bruce.
That's
You
what
fuck
you
him?
gotta.
No, I mean, no. 'cause
That's
I
what you
don't-
gotta add to the sound. You gotta add to the soundboard. He's a good boy. I
Yeah, we
forgot
gotta
about
add
that
some
one.
Vince stuff on the sound. And he's a good boy.
Yeah, and he's a good boy.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob.
So yeah, they're going to
So
be
good.
they're going back to Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Arena. You know, this is the arena that kind of started it all for them. So if they have a shit
Mhm.
showing here, I haven't looked at the ticket advances or anything like that. But if they have a shit showing here, I don't
I
know,
think they'll
man. Like,
sell it out. close to it.
I really love what AEW offers. Listen, I don't like them more than WWE, and that's fine to say. And no one could beat the machine, right? And when WWE's
No.
doing everything right, like they're doing right now, it's great and it's watchable and it's everything. You know, real
Yeah.
quick, I don't know how long we've been running here too, but I was thinking about
20 minutes. We're good.
oh really? That's all?
Yep.
Wow. I'm a wow. That's fantastic.
What
Wow.
don't you fucking understand?
I don't understand
We gotta
time
stop here.
apparently.
You know
So,
what do
yeah.
you understand about 21 minutes? What do you not understand?
So the way I watched the Monday Night Wars, and we didn't think about it, right? There was only a brief period where both companies were like neck and neck, right? And it was when one
Right.
company was coming up and the other one was falling down. That was on top. WWF was shitty and boring and
was
cookie cutter.
bad.
And then the NWO came along, and then they were like on top for like a little over a year. Then they got Austin. Then they had to change their game. Then they forced everything. And then, so what? That started in mid '96 is when the NWO got formed. And then WWE pretty much said, we're never going to get beat again. Like at the beginning of '99, the writing was on the wall. It's like WCW just couldn't catch up. '98 was like the best year for both companies. They were like neck and neck or whatever. But '99, WCW fell off the thing. It's almost following the same pattern. I'm not suggesting, because I think the difference between WCW and AEW is the buck actually does stop with Tony. And the buck never stopped with anyone in WCW. It was just owned by a corporation. And you had someone that found something that struck oil in Bischoff, and he rode it out as long as he could. The buck always stopped with Vince. I think that was always the kind of the definitive, why did WWE outlast WCW, even though WCW was killing him? Because the buck stopped with him. And I think the Buck, I'm not saying Tony Khan is as smart as Vince McMahon, but I'm just saying that the buck does stop with one person. So he's in control. So if you look at that, you know, the way everything rose and then WWF started to get better in 98 and then they evened out and then boom, that was like a 4-year span, right? 4-year span tops, you know,
Mhm.
96, 97,
Right.
98, 99, 2000. By
They
2000,
closed out-
WCW
and
was
they
fucking
closed
dead.
in 01, right? WCW
So-
closed in 01.
AEW hit really big in 2019, right before the pandemic, and WWF was boring. So the second another company came along that had money to throw around and got on TBS, TNT, which no company had done before since WCW, like everyone went to that side. Now they never beat WWE in the ratings ever, but I mean like the interest of the wrestling fans. And then you had two promotions going at it. The pandemic hit. Both companies did what they had to do. And then when we came out of the pandemic, AEW was still kind of hot. WWE was selling out right away only because people were so hungry to fucking get in an arena.
hammer
They
to
hadn't
come
been there
back,
for a
yeah.
year. But then
Where you
WWF
been?
started. Then WWE started trailing off again. Then Vince got kicked out. Then everything evened out. And then now AEW is on the downside. It almost is mirroring exactly what happened with WCW and WWF back in the day, where WCW found something. Vince was out of touch. Another company ruled the roost for like a year and a half. And then same thing happened on this one in 2018, 2019. AEW didn't beat them in ratings, but like got the interest of all the hardcore fans because that's all that was
Sure.
left. And so like
Right.
everyone's like AEW's the best. AEW's the best. Oh, Dave Meltzer every day. AEW. Everybody loved AEW, and it sold out everywhere it went. It went to Arthur Ashe Stadium, sold it out, and went everywhere. Sold it out.
Mhm.
They couldn't not sell out in places. Didn't matter where it was. Dynamite sold
Right.
out everywhere. Rampage sold out everywhere. Didn't they go to Chicago with Punk? Sell out almost 20,000 seats.
Well, that's
Like-
some of the big things that happened. MGF has had to take a leave, and Punk is gone. You lost a lot of marquee names there. That
Same thing with the
definitely hurts.
momentum. And then guess what?
Mhm.
Cody left. And
Yeah.
that swung the momentum on the other
honestly
way.
happened first. To your point, that happened first.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, for a little while, AEW still doing fine, but at the end of that year, when after Cody left, they started. That's when people started posting the hard camera side empty. That's when people started posting, and then it just grew. And then now you have AEW almost mirroring WCW levels in 2000 as far as attendance and stuff like that.
I still can't believe, and I can't believe I'm defending Punk at this point. It's weird to defend Punk in these situations, but I'm still fascinated that they couldn't make that work. There was so much great genuine heat there, and if they could have found a way to just do business together, AEW would not be beating WWE in ratings at all. Let's just make that very clear. That would not
It was
be
never
happening.
going to happen.
That was never going to happen. But what I would say is that you wouldn't have these hard cam fill issues. You would have places, really close to selling out. You could have venues that were doing really well, because that's all anybody ever wanted to see rectified was what happened with Punk and these EVPs. And they just didn't even, they not only not touch it, they put them on separate shows. They both put them in, it's like, instead of, two kids fight, instead of letting them go fight out in the yard, you put them in two separate classrooms, but everybody wanted to see the fight. Everybody wanted to see that fight, just get it over with and blow it off. And they refused to do it. It was just it's such a poor decision on Tony's part. And this is where you said the buck stops with Tony, but the other issue is Tony's in control. I disagree.
That's why I think it's more fixable. That's why I think it's more fixable than WWE.
He just needs to get he just needs to get firm.
And my point wasn't to do the comparison of the rise and fall and the equal, the way it's always been. Not
it's the way it's going is what you're saying.
Not to say that they're going to go that
way.
Yeah, not to say they're going to go out of business. What I'm saying is I don't know if there's ever room for two companies to do incredibly well at the top for a very long time. I think the wrestling audience is. Yeah, I think the wrestling audience is big for what this product is, for what pro wrestling, whatever it's meant to us over these years. I think that pro wrestling, it hits a ceiling after a while, and there's only room for one company, which happens to be the company WWE that was always best at marketing, always has the biggest international outreach. They've always been that good because Vince was a genius, and let's face it, he was a business genius. But I don't think there can ever be. You can never have two companies just doing well for 5 years in a row. It's just not. It's never happened. It's never happened. Even territories, some would go up and down depending on what talent they traded. There was always a dominant territory. It's just really weird that we've never had a promotion.
You can't split business like that. It doesn't work that way. And I think the biggest thing that AEW always misses out on, we talk about over and over, is it's not a kid show. So you're not going to get the 13 to 2s. You're not going to get those little guys out there because they can't watch someone drink blood on a fucking pay-per-view. That's not going to happen.
You should.
So
absolutely,
again, and I'm just saying, what they are. They're never going to beat WWE in any kind of rating system. They're never going to do that. But
Daddy, I'm Swerve Strickland, stapling themselves. Daddy,
with the house stapler. Daddy, I'm Swerve Strickland.
And just at the end of the day, know what you are. Take advantage of the heat that you produce and go and run with that and get firm with these guys and say, no, this is my decision. This is what you're doing. If you don't like it, you can go, but you're going to miss out on a lot of money. And if you can't handle that, that's a you problem. But Tony either can't do that or won't do that or won't get someone to do that for him. If he can just get someone to do it for him, to be because Vince had a buffer too, to tell people this is the way it's going to be. Just be nice about it. And Vince is get him the fuck out of here. He's like, hey man, let's go over and talk for a minute. He always had that buffer, right? But Vince always had that hammer down. This is what we're fucking doing, which worked until the end. Now creative's gotten much better. But I also argue that the reason why Vince is creative with the shit is because he was so focused on the business of business instead of the creative of business. He was out of touch, as Jess said.
I think Tony's tougher than we think on the talent.
I truly agree with that. I don't know if he's tougher on the talent, but I think that Tony's smarter than what people give him credit for. I think
they know that it's his money. They know ultimately they know that it's his money, and they know he can't be crossed. So people can probably get away with stuff with him, and he can be influenced because he's ultimately a huge fan. But at the end of the day, I think nobody is running circles around Tony. So
it's not like that. It's just that when CM Punk gets in your face and says handle it or I will, then he should have handled it because he knew what CM Punk was going to do. That you should have handled that. What do you want me to do? Yeah, I want you to handle it. Just handle it. And I know Jess has an opinion about that. CM Punk didn't have to get involved, whatever, but he was going to because he cares, whatever. I'm defending CM Punk again, and I don't know why I do it, but at the same time, there's situations, big money situations that were just left on the table. They just left it there.
To be a
And
wrestling promoter and have the Omega and Young Bucks and Punk thing happen and
That's
not
great
make
stuff.
money off it is insane. Like it's just
Yeah,
like,
it's
what are we doing
ridiculous.
here? Like, what are we doing here?
So what I'll say is like, hopefully he'll
he's
learn
almost
from
not
it and
carny
realize
enough. Sorry, Dave. He's
No,
almost
you're
not
good.
carny enough. Like,
Right.
to say like, why don't we do that? Like,
Vince
why
like
wouldn't we
that.
do
When
that?
Vince would find a
Yeah.
personal thing between people, he's like, I like it. Let's do it. Let's make them uncomfortable. Like, because he
and
felt
yeah,
it.
manipulate and tweak their hatred to each other to make money. Like,
Yeah, because he didn't care about them. I mean, let's be real. Maybe Tony cares about them a little too much.
True. Yes.
Maybe Tony cares about him a little too much. And
Or
at the end
well,
of the day,
then your remedy, Dave, is correct. Then he needs to find someone that's going to sew it together. He needs
I think
someone else
That's
to
what I
find
think.
out his voice. Like maybe Daniel Bryan does retire. Maybe he becomes the CEO, like backstage of AEW.
I don't mind because he's got a great
I would
mind.
love for them, and I don't
he
even
can
know
do
what
it.
the roles are of. I almost want to call them the Hardy Boys, the Young Bucks or Omega. I don't even know what that means. Executive VPs. I don't fucking know. Like I don't even I don't even think they're really executive VPs. What does that even mean? Like, and I think that after a while they just need to step down and. Or just if they're shareholders or not shareholders, but like profit shares, fine, whatever. But like I don't.
You don't.
I think
You don't think you don't think that Vince was tweaking Hulk and Macho for 2 years?
Of course he was.
That whole
Like,
story.
Right.
He was tweaking Sean and Brett. They had to. They got into a fight.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Sorry, guys.
100%.
We have some fan feedback on Dave actually live because I'm just looking at like the message board.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is
That's
that?
a shitty opinion. It's the most bullshit opinion I've ever heard.
Yeah, I agree.
That was from Thomas Kane or
Thomas
TK.
Kane?
I don't know who.
TK.
Anthony.
He just weighed in.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony Cognier.
Anthony Kane with a C.
That is ultimately what it needs. Like when someone when I guarantee you, like Vince went to Macho and said, Hulk got on you. He's telling me you're not working out enough. I bet he would do stuff like that in the middle of this storyline feud for 2 years. Hogan said you missed workouts yesterday. No, I didn't, brother. What is he talking about? Like I guarantee you he fucked with him like that all the time just to get a little bit more out of him every night and get a little bit more like real hatred towards each other. Like Vince always did stuff like that. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying Tony has to take it that far, but don't leave this huge heated fight in the back where even a dog lost a tooth apparently and stuff and just not capitalize on it. Like, what are we talking about? I know I beat that horse to death, but it's just a prime example of huge missed opportunities where smaller companies like Cons can't afford to do that. You can't look at all that money and just say, yeah, we're going to go a different way. You can't do that. You can't. WWE can fuck up like that all they want, and they've done it for years. But smaller companies like that, if you're going to play around for a while like Jess says, and every once in a while come up and kind of punch up to the big guys every once in a while, you've got to take those opportunities. You just have to.
Yeah, you have to be smart backstage. Even if you never beat them and never become number one, that's irrelevant.
You have to.
If you're punching up and you have a hot angle and you're nurturing it right and you're writing the angles right, like you're actually going to win just by principle because they're going to be like, yeah, even though it's a younger company,
you're still going to get viewers. You're still going to make money.
Yeah, you're still going to make tons of money in there. But yeah, he just has to get a little rougher. And because like if you just watch their pay-per-views alone, you would just think like, how are they not selling out Dynamite? How the fuck is this happening? Like,
those matches are absolutely
wrestling
fire
on the planet. I'm sorry.
And Dave's only exposure because he doesn't watch AEW on a regular basis. Like, he went to Full Gear with us in November, and the shit was sold out. And it was a great fucking show. I mean, nobody left like disappointed. It was like, dude, that was
no, everybody was happy. It was wonderful.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and they have so much talent. And then you could talk about stringing storyline together week to week. They've had a problem with that, but I think that's getting better. We talked about Swerve. We thought he was going to lose the title too quickly, but they moved things around. So, losing, he's not.
And
probably
also,
lose
when you
Christian.
see
that's okay.
When you see how they handle Sting's retirement and that whole pay-per-view too, I'm like, there's something there. The spark is that it's still there. Like they can be successful. Like someone knows what they're doing because they could have bungled that and they didn't. It was awesome. Like it was
again.
I love WrestleMania this year, but my pay-per-view still is Revolution this year. It's my number one pay-per-view.
It was the best one
because I'm a Sting homer. But at the same time, like it was the best
awesome.
pay-per-view. Like it was just the best pay-per-view. WrestleMania was excellent. WrestleMania Night 2 especially.
And AEW is about as old as we are, right? As a pod, they're about 5 years in. How old is WWE? How old is WWE again? 60
85 years. It's like 40 something.
So again, it's just we're not even crawling yet. We're not even, if that makes any sense. Like they're in their infancy stage. They're not even off the bottle. Like they're not, they're not off the
It
teat,
almost
so to
did. It
speak.
almost did a disservice to
A
them
lot.
by right off the bat them selling out
Being
everything
that
and
good,
being successful.
right?
They
Being as
it
good.
almost hurt them, and then because like it was
But
bound to go down,
but
and then
just
when it
Craig,
starts going, the internet are
newborn babies are
monsters. People are monsters.
newborn
on the
babies are
internet.
cute though, and then
Yeah.
they start talking and they get ugly. That's what happens.
Well, and the main
So-
promotion was terrible. It was trash. And so like they took advantage of it. And then they had no answer once the main promotion got cool again. They were like, shit, like we're doing the same things, actually kind of worse than what we were doing before.
Know
And so,
who you are,
yeah.
know your role, do your job. I mean,
Build some stars and just fucking forget about them.
and they
Just
are,
shut up.
and I would say
Yeah.
they are. Swerve is a great example of that, right? I mean, Tony Storm is a fantastic example of building a star. So I think they're
how
doing
Tony
it.
Storm doesn't inspire that whole locker room to show them that you can do it. And there's
So
something
good.
here and there's opportunity here. Stop whining. Like, just make it happen, And you have Adam Copeland. You could say what you want about him, but like he's given Aleister Black, who we know is a fucking star, like he's given him a shine again. Going like, dude, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Not pushing this guy. Like, what are we fucking doing here? Like,
Dude's
the House of
amazing.
Black's, and he's given him a platform. He's pushing him.
Right.
He's like, I want to work with Aleister Black. I want to work with the House of Black. Let's fucking do it, And like, listen,
Is
we
he
make
like the
jokes.
Bret Hart of AEW right now? Like whoever he works with gets the shine. Like Bret Hart's like, no, I want to work with this guy next.
I'm glad that that's his role, and Christian wants to do the same thing. And MJF when he comes back is wonderful, and
Copeland should be doing the same thing. I want to work with this guy because this
speaking
guy
of
needs
which,
a
by
run.
the way, so they started leaking stories out of nowhere about MJF's new development on his return. I'm like, he's probably going to come back like this Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to wrestle yet, but he's going to come back at least and be seen, so people start talking. And then
a run in on Copeland would be nice after the match is over. That would work just fine. People would blow up.
I think that if they can get some of their shine back or whatever, they need the momentum going into summer, going to Wembley.
And MJF going away really hurt them. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I think it hurts them more than people think. Him and who's our little Shield guy, Moxley. They took that company on their back for several years, and they're definitely have repercussions from that on their bodies. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Moxley take more of a break. I think maybe he did a while back, but those guys got beat up pretty bad just trying to carry that around. And I think the best thing is now you're starting to see the swerves come up. You're starting to see Tony Storm take a little bit of TV time, and again, I'm hoping that they're just figuring out who they are and realize they don't have to talk about WWE. They don't have to punch up so much.
Shut the fuck up.
Just go do the work and try to make the storylines link together every week so people can follow it. And like I said, get a goddamn streaming platform, please. Just can you do that for me? Can you figure it out? Hopefully,
I think that's I think that's a big deal about retention right there, man. I think that if they get a streaming platform, I think that they're going to hold on to viewers a little bit more because you're going to have people more invested. Because right now, if you wanted to go back and catch up on any past Dynamites, you could not. You can't.
You can't.
And then if you wanted to go, okay,
on Hulu, you got to.
I'll go watch their pay-per-views. Maybe they sell all their past pay-per-views for $5 a piece or whatever. Nope. $50. You still got to pay $50 for all their fucking past pay-per-views. So it's like, dude, why would anybody want to stay
nobody's going to do
invested?
that. No one's going to pay for it again. No one's doing that.
Why would anybody
want to? It's going to be. They're renegotiating right now, and also Warner Brothers Discovery is actually working with ESPN, Disney, and I think Fox.
That's the TV deal I was talking about
for a
huge
standalone
streaming
sports
platform
app. So because between all of them, they have all the sports licenses. So it's like, but they will want you to pay $25 a month probably to see almost
That's
every
the last
sport.
thing, man. If they get a streaming sports platform that can include AEW, you don't need cable no more for nothing because cable's the only thing. Sports is the only thing keeping cable alive at this point, in my opinion.
Because or else it would have been already on Max, because they're TNT and they're under negotiation. So they probably want it on the sports launch. So that's probably the thing.
I think Max might be a part of that deal too. I think they're all like included on it. That's the thing. It's supposed to all come
Max
together.
is Discovery's tool for sure.
Yeah, and Max is carrying a bunch of sports right now on the platform. You can watch NBA.
And Discovery saying you can do Disney plus Max and Hulu or so they're all getting in bed together. So it'll be one
of the biggest streaming platforms. And my prediction was like I know SmackDown's supposed to go over to USA next year, but I think anything's possible. If if AEW doesn't get their head out of their butt, like I can see WWE trying to swoop in and trying to put stuff on there.
And
even
TNT is
later
losing
on.
the NBA in 2026. So
because it's probably going to Max and
so the
those
live
conglomerates.
sports. So it's
Yeah.
well, no, TNT. It's going to. Someone took it away from them. I think it might be Amazon, but
Oh, that's right.
Jilly,
'cause
what's
what
TNT gonna do?
is it's Discovery. That's why they're going to need wrestling. They're going to need some form of AEW somewhere.
Even
So
then,
it's gonna be good for
AEW doesn't
AEW.
give him any ratings though. Like I don't know, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I don't
It's
know what
still the
TNT
top.
Yeah.
It's still the top non-sports
Oh,
stuff on Wednesday nights. Like, and if they don't have NBA, then the only hope to get ratings or what they've got besides movies is fucking wrestling and live stuff. So
yeah. Now that the
Right.
NBA finals are over too, their ratings will kind of tick back up or whatever. So we'll see. I think the next 6 months is pretty crucial for AEW, but I think they will pull it out. I look at some of the stuff and I watch Collision here and there. I'll pop in on Collision and go, you know what? I'm glad I watched that. Like it was a good
Collision's good
show.
shit.
And like, yeah, you just
Rampage is the only shit fest.
You're right, and yeah, well now they're putting it on Saturdays with Collision now. Like they
Right.
put it on after to try to spike a rating, so they might just move Collision off fucking Fridays and then have 3 hours of wrestling on Saturdays. Like that's just what they do.
But I think the issue with them too is they already have too big a roster, and there's rumors they just might let contracts expire without like firing people.
Which they
They really
should.
do have too many people sitting around.
Yeah.
Like, but the good
They've
thing is
kinda
he's
done that.
given these guys, a lot of guys, a good paycheck and a good living, and then
Yes.
they bitch about their spot, and now you're going to be no spot
A
because
Yeah,
lot
now
of
we'll
those
see.
Bitch too
guys,
much.
a lot of those guys bitching about their spot there were bitching about their spot in WWE too. Just
And
as
they
mentioned it
they
several
just don't
times.
have it. That's the problem. They just don't have it.
Yeah, they're great in the ring. They're great. The ring work is fantastic, but they can't get someone to tune in to
I
see.
can
them.
only promise you an opportunity.
Well, we could probably end it here then. 41 minutes.
Yeah,
We always run a
perfect.
little slim here. Big weekend coming up. Everybody look for some changes, hopefully, to Unscripted coming soon, including maybe me just buying a new fucking mic because I don't know why he keeps doing that. And Craig, where are you going to see everybody?
That's fucking bullshit.
All
At the matches.
All right, buddy.
right, everybody.